How's it going, everybody? This is Chris with CLS Paranormal, and we got finally a new investigation on our hands. We are at Cold Spring Cemetery in Lockport, New York. This is one of the oldest cemeteries in Lockport, and a lot of people have been asking us to come here and do an investigation. Well, we read your comments, we heard you, and we are here to do an investigation. And we get a bonus. We get to investigate the house. We're in the front office with
Linda Lee,
Craig Carrison,
Kathy Shorey Monroe.
and they are going to explain some history of the cemetery and talk about some paranormal hotspots and experiences that people have had here, and talk about how old the cemetery is. So whenever you guys are ready.
The cemetery actually dates back to the soldiers of 1812. We're supposed to have been going from the Batavia or the Canandaigua area over to Fort Niagara, and they camped at the bottom of the hill here for this road. The hill used to go all the way down and up. It was like a roller coaster type of thing, and they camped there for the evening, and supposedly many of them took ill and died. Whether the water was poisoned, which is the rumor, but the historians in our area don't believe that the water was poisoned or by the Indians or anything. They believe that it was just maybe bad food that they ate or something of that effect. But there were, I think, at least six soldiers that passed away. They are the first ones that were actually buried here in the cemetery. The oldest part of the cemetery is Section A, which is right across from the office here. And there's a revolutionary buried there. His name is Judd. His last name is Judd. Freeman Judd is his name. And that's about it for that part of the cemetery. The other parts of the cemetery, though, this house was, we believe, built around 1876, would you say?
that's what I've always heard, yes.
And it was not this whole house as we see it now. There have been additions made to this house. But that's when it started. We were incorporated in 1840. And our sign says that out there if you wanted to take a photo of that. And other parts of the cemetery that you may be super interested in. We have a lot of Civil War veterans here. And they're throughout the whole sections of the cemetery. I have what I'm going to give you is a map that you can use as your sections as you're going around, and then you'll know what sections you saw somebody in.
Okay.
So pretty much that's about it. You'll find them all over the place. There's a lot of supposedly activity here, especially up towards the vault. The vault was also built, I believe, in the 1870s. And it was built for the reason they had no refrigeration back then to keep bodies over a period of time, especially the winter time, because they couldn't get through our roadways back then. And we had people that were in the vault back traveling as far as Springville, New York. They would bring them up here to put them in the vault. So, and I believe we stopped using the vault in, would you say 1980?
No, it was used after that. I would say mid-90s.
Mid-90s?
Sporadically.
Okay.
Okay, my grandfather came here in 1945. He was the superintendent until 1961, and my dad took over, and our family actually lived in this house. At that time I was 5. My parents retired in 1988, and my older brother took this job, and then he passed in 2012, and I came back here from another job and took the job as superintendent. And I've worked here on and off over the years. I mean, I've been here full-time as the superintendent for the last 10, 12 years. So our family has quite a history here. Not only between living in the house, but also, you know, working on the grounds and meeting the people. And so it's been an interesting experience to that extent. And over the years, you talk to a lot of folks who have had their own experiences. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who have regular conversations with their loved one who has passed. Quite a number of folks have had paranormal experiences of different types, some of which we've already discussed. Certain sounds, certain experiences. But there's been enough to not disdain them all. And I have to say, over the years, I've developed not only an increasing interest, but also an increasing acceptance of the possibility.
So, are there any stories that have stood out to you that you've been told about? Any paranormal experiences?
Well, the one about the lady in white, it's funny because I was at a local business not too long ago, and this lady's husband had been a police officer for the city of Lockport, and she was telling a story, one of her, that he came home one night from work and told her about a person who had rather frantically come into the police department, having just gone down Cold Spring Road, and had seen this entity, apparition, if you will. And that's in addition to, over the years, I'll bet you I've heard that story 30 times. Anyway, that's a conservative estimate.
Yeah.
So do you guys know where the lady in white originates from?
I do not. That part, but she's always here. I mean, it's the original story was she was actually picked up by, I don't think she was hitchhiking, but someone gave her a ride, and then when they went to let her out, she simply wasn't there.
Okay.
And it seems to be usually between the house and the railroad, this stretch of road right here. That's the most common story I've heard over the years. There's been some illicit stories. I mean, people who were here after hours who were not supposed to be here. They were recreating in one sort or another, but have seen things, shadows, ghosts, if you will, apparitions, certain lights. So it seems like there's a lot of activity that goes on down there.
Have you had any experiences in the office?
I have not. Not me directly, but quite a few other folks have.
And all I've had within the office is just every once in a while a feeling, but nothing, I mean, that could have been anything, you know, just anything. As far as seeing anything, I haven't seen anything at all.
Okay.
But I announce myself when I come through the door.
Well, you're here all the time
And
too,
they
so they
know-
know you.
They know that I don't want to see them, you know, so.
Right, they can feel that too. I think sometimes the negative ones purposely like to make themselves known,
Yeah.
to frighten somebody, to intimidate, because they feed off of that. Certain spirits feed off of your energy. All right, so Kathy, same thing for you. If you want to talk about paranormal experiences or things that you've heard, same thing applies to cemetery or the house. Just let us know.
Yes. Of all the times I've been in the house, both first floor and second floor and down below, yes, I've never had any experience in here. However, what I do every time I come in is I will announce myself like Linda does. And as I leave, I will also say goodbye, being very spiritual. I will say to all of the spirits, I call them spirits for reference, I tell them to seek the light, that they don't have to stay earthbound. And then I say a little prayer that not only seek the light, but that their life's purpose has been fulfilled as their life here on earth and as they were buried. And then I will leave. Very strangely, I have had experiences going through the property. The one experience, I had parked my car not far outside the front door, and I got in, and a female voice, as clear as we are talking here to each other, said, "No one's ever done that before." I was shocked because it was so clear. And I hesitated a moment, and my response was, well, it won't be the last time. So I do it every time I walk in the door. Then another time, I got in the car, there were no voices, but there was definitely cigarette smoke.
Mhm.
And that's a sign to me that an entity, a spirit, is with me. I asked if the spirit had any messages to give. There were no messages. And I said that if there were good messages, and from the highest, say from God, if you are a believer, that I would accept a message. And I didn't get one. Then as I was driving through, I entered from the Cold Springs Road that we've referred to. And on my left, I see shadows from the head down to perhaps the knees. I don't see the legs or the feet. And they are moving among the trees. It could be a sunny day, it could be a gray day. The shadows or the entities are always black, which doesn't mean, to me, it doesn't mean that it's a negative entity. It just tells me that if it's daylight, you're not going to see one that is white.
Right.
So they change colors so that they can be noticed. And I see it frequently between the paved road and the railroad tracks. I'm pointing to the tracks now.
Yeah.
Don't you see them now? And it's not as though they're hiding behind the trees, but they will go behind a tree and then they realize that I'm looking and they don't come out from behind the tree. So I enjoy it. I will accept messages if by chance the entity has relatives that are still alive and I would know how to communicate with them, get in touch. I would feel comfortable giving that family, the surviving family, a message from their beloved who is now beyond. I am a believer in in ghosts. I do believe that they are with us, and I feel being part of the cemetery and being close to them and being able to bless the souls, the thousands of souls that are here, is wonderful. No matter when they passed, if it was back in the 19th century or if it was in the 21st century. I feel kind of blessed to be able to do it.
We are finally out now in Cold Spring Cemetery. The sun actually just went down. There's still a little bit of light outside, but it's pretty much dark. We are finally ready to do the investigation. We heard that this is a really good place to do EVPs. This is one of the hot spots they recommended to us. We do have permission to be here from the owner. Oh, that just spiked. Look, look. And that's strange too because there's nothing electrical here, right?
No.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh my God, I'm cold.
Touch the device with the green light on it. Make it go off again.
Make it go to red.
And there's no electrical. I'm doing this because sometimes electrical wires in the ground. There's no electrical wires in the ground, so because this would be going off. And it's just stopped, so that might have been a spirit passing by us. I hear something over there, but again, that could be an animal or a bird or a squirrel. There's a lot of squirrels and chipmunks around here. The device that you guys all love, it's the Spirit Box SB7. We are going to turn this on, see if we can get any voices coming through it.
Power on.
Now in SB7 mode.
Alright, let's see what happens. There. Is there anybody here with us that wants to communicate? Are there any spirits out here at all? We should go up to the... That was something. Did you hear it? Did somebody just talk to us? Is there anybody up here? Kelly? As we're doing our Spirit Box session, when I say the name Kelly, it sounds like a female's voice comes through the Spirit Box. We've put it on repeat so you can hear it. Check it out. Did I say yeah? Who's talking to us right now? Are you inside this crypt? Can you tell me how old you are? Sound like a little kid. Did you say 9? Have you ever had other investigators come talk to you? We're going to walk over here. Is there anybody in this one? Is there anybody in here? Do you want to talk to us and tell us your name? This is the older part of the cemetery. This is probably, for me, what I've heard the most stories about. I heard a story about a lady who was up here. She got out, and there was a woman's spirit in her vehicle when she was driving away. So this seems to be a hot spot for people that come here. I usually see people do their intros here, take pictures here. So we're going to try a couple things. We'll break more equipment out as the night proceeds. So right here, You're going to hear one of the best spirit box responses I think I've captured in a long time. So as we're messing with the K2 meter and the spirit box, we hear a really loud girl's voice through the spirit box say, "Excuse me." Whoa, did you hear that voice?
I did. That was loud.
It sounded like it said, "Excuse me."
It did.
Who just talked to us? Did you hear that? Michael? That just said Michael. Michael? Are you a spirit that died here? Are you somebody that's stuck here? It's not like I said, yeah, I am. Michael, are you trapped here? Can you guys tell me who's inside the house? The front office? That's why I said dying. Who's out here with us right now? Are you walking with us? What? No. I don't know. It's not like I said, come to me or something. Where are you? Are you here? Can you tell me who the lady in white is? Here, turn that off for a minute. Can the lady in white show herself to us? Say maybe. It sounded like somebody said maybe. Here with us? Oh, this is just a little fenced off area. I got a device in my hand with a green light on it. Can you come up to this device? You know, a lot of people do this because they want to know what happens when you die. That's why we're out here trying to get evidence. Can you give some evidence to us? Let us know what happens. Oh, did you see that?
Go off?
Yeah, look.
Oh, yeah.
Can you set this device off with the green light on it? It's in my left hand. Right here. Can you set this off? It's gone now. So we are officially locked in here for the night. We have this whole entire place to ourselves. The first part of the video, we set the motion sensors upstairs. We're gonna have an extension cord right now running up the stairs, and we are bringing 3 tripods upstairs. We're gonna put some night vision cameras on them. And I'm gonna run some full spectrum cameras. We're putting those up there because the people that work here do feel like there's activity upstairs. And when I went up there to do my walkthrough, felt activity upstairs as well. You could just feel the heaviness of what was up there. So we have officially set up all of our equipment. We are now lights out. We have a night vision camera upstairs. We have a night vision camera downstairs. We have a REM pod upstairs. We have a motion sensor down here, which is plugged into that wall. You'll hear it, it's really loud.
There's a moth flying in front of the screen.
And then we have a REM pod downstairs as well. Now, we're going to start upstairs first, and this is why. So they have this curtain right here because when they do meetings, this is the office for the cemetery. When they do meetings in here, there's a woman that has a hard time being able to have this open because she keeps seeing stuff and hearing stuff up these stairs and it bothers them. So they put this curtain here to block off whatever they're seeing and hearing and feeling from the upstairs. And like I said earlier, we are the first investigators to ever investigate this place. So we have no clue what to expect tonight. We're keeping names confidential, but there is a gentleman who did pass away in this office. So we're going to see if he's still here. And then there wasn't a lot of suggested activity in the basement, but there was somebody down there that heard a voice say something to them when they were walking up the stairs. So we will investigate the basement. But we're going to start upstairs. I always like to go upstairs first. So I have my meter, which reads EMF, magnetic fields. Now we are going to head upstairs. So I am getting a high reading on this. This is a 0.8, which is 1.1. Is there electrical in here? I'm just trying to see. It is going down, but it is staying at a 0.6. So there could be something electrical in here. No. No, it's not picking up the cord. It's staying consistent. Well, like I said, we're testing the waters. Nobody's ever been here before. So I'm going to try and communicate with the spirits that are here. I'm here to see if there's any spirits in here. If there's anybody in here, can you give me a sign of your presence? Just making sure this camera is still recording. Okay. We're gonna go this way. Is there anybody up here with us? Anybody at all? What the hell was that? Did you hear that? We just heard a clicking noise, but we don't know what it is. There are two moths right there, which that's what it could have been.
In the ceiling.
Yeah, like I said, we're still gonna attempt to make communication. I'm trying to be careful so this doesn't go off. Now, this is the room, this is the only room in the house where they say they get bugs. Bugs will just fly and they all die right here. And there's the attic. I don't know if we're allowed to go in there, but I'm not going to go in there because we didn't get permission to go in there. Is there anybody in here that wants to talk to us? My name is Chris. I'm here to get your story and figure out who you are. Can you tell me who you are? If you're here, can you knock on the wall? Somebody passed away in this building. Can you tell me your name? Oh, this has been at a 0 the whole entire time, and it just went up to a 0.8. And now it's going back down. Oh, now it's staying. Can you walk in front of this device in my hand? You don't have to be afraid of us. We are not here to hurt you. We are here to communicate with you. You guys know who Linda is and Kathy? They want to know who's here. Can you show them who's here? They say that they see somebody up here. All right, we're going to try an experiment, guys. So we got that set up upstairs. We're going to sit down in here. Tell me you heard that.
The thumping, like something ran across the floor upstairs.
There's something upstairs, guys. We just heard running. Who's upstairs? We can hear you. I thought it just picked up music. So we got 2 balls on the floor, and we got a REM pod on the ground.
If you're a little kid, there's a couple balls that we put on the floor and they light up really pretty. We know you're up here. Will you play with those? There's another device in the middle of the room. It's got a red light on it. And if you touch it, it'll make all pretty colors too.
This would be a good sleep room.
When you touch one of those devices and make the lights go off on them, all you have to do is touch it or tap it and the light will go off. Were you the one that tugged on my camera cord earlier in the other room?
Looks like the upstairs... Oh,
Thank you.
now, guys, you have to touch that for it to go off. Those don't just go off randomly. You have to... Let's see if we can get some intelligent responses here. If you're the spirit of a child, can you touch that ball again and make it go off? Yep, I was right.
Thank you.
Okay. Are you getting this?
I am. Do you like those pretty colors? There's another device in the middle of the floor that'll make pretty colors just like that.
Are you a boy? Light that up if you're a boy. It's a boy. Okay.
After that time, stop touching the ball. After that time, stop touching the ball. After that time, stop touching the ball for a minute.
If you're here, can you touch that REM pod? Make that REM pod go off? Look at that. I just asked it and it's setting the REM pod off. Is there anybody down in the basement? Anybody in here at all? Any spirits that want to communicate with us? Still good on this camera. Is there anybody in here at all? We're just here to talk. A lot of cobwebs down here. That's why I'm going like this. All right. Well, if there's nobody down here that wants to talk to us, we're going to leave. We'll walk in here just for the hell of it. Anybody in here? Who lives upstairs? Are there spirits from the cemetery upstairs? All right. Well, we're going to go back upstairs.